What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Bar.
Okay, we gotta do one more. Alexei, you gotta look. If you're gonna do it, look in the camera. Stop looking at the damn TV. Every comment I get, people say that you looking at the damn fucking TV.
Delict, Mazwari. Who else? Xerxes? The guy looks like Lukaku, but worse. I do not watch Deportivo La Coruña play Levante. You're right, I do not. This guy is the definition of dog.
I'm putting in a mic on.
Father is not even 2 years older.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Off the Bar. Today, we're going to be talking about what happened last week in the Premier League, La Liga, and the Bundesliga.
Let's see what happened.
All right, well, first off, we got to talk about, a very controversial game. Some would say robbed Arsenal. What do you guys think?
There was no robbery.
I mean,
Declan Rice should know. If you think people consider him a good player, world class player, matured player, he should know not to go into tackles like that. He should know not to play that way.
no, I'm not going to lie. That first challenge where he got the yellow card, I agree. That was a yellow card. But I don't know if you saw why he got his second yellow.
Yeah, you stood in front of a free kick.
He kicked the ball a little bit, right?
Yeah,
But how many times does that happen, right? And this is the
Doesn't
beginning
matter.
of the
He
first
should know better
of
not
the
to
second half.
He should know better to compose himself and not make silly gestures like that.
Oh, you
He's
know what?
sloppy.
I may agree with you if the referee was consistent throughout the game, because what happened later on, Joao Pedro did the same thing, same exact thing, didn't get a yellow card. Why? Because the referees are against Arsenal, just like they are every year. We always get the short end of the stick, whether it be a second yellow card, a straight red card when it could have been easily a yellow, or not even a yellow. Do you remember a couple seasons ago, Martinelli got 2 yellow cards for the same thing? He tackled somebody, and then he tackled somebody else, and he got a yellow card for the first tackle and a yellow card for the second tackle.
Yeah, that's
that
two yellow
never
card
never happens.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not so
That's
invested.
still 2
I'm
yellow
not-
card tackles.
no.
I'm not so invested into the Arsenal foul lore here, but Chris Kavanagh for a referee in the Premier League,
Garbage.
he's an
All
esteemed.
referee Premier Leagues,
Yes.
all Premier League referees are complete trash.
Garbage. I agree.
Some of the worst in the world.
I agree, and that's why when they go to the World Cup, which they often do because the Premier League is considered blah 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 league, they are usually the worst. That's why the World Cup refs are the worst. And in the World Cup, we see controversial calls like that too. Not only though, Chris Kavanagh is an esteemed referee in the Premier League. He's a good one. He's Anthony Taylor, whatever. There's good ones. There's really bad ones.
Well, he had a bad game.
Maybe he had a bad game.
He had a
maybe
very
didn't.
bad
I don't
game.
think he had a bad game. I think it was a fair game. I think this is just you being upset as a fan of the team. You guys heavily underperformed against Brighton.
This is a player who has never been sent off in his entire professional career. Declan
How many
Rice.
years has he been professional? 4? 3?
He's 24, 25 years old. He's been around.
A professional
Never
for 4 years?
Center midfielder, never got sent off. He's always a respect. He'll leave in a couple crunching tackles per game.
And so that's when you should take.
Yeah, but he got the yellow card for one of them, and he got a absolute.
for being silly, for not being composed.
It
for
was
being
a silly thing to
disrespectful.
do.
So then he
But
got
usually
dealt with.
referees do not give yellow cards, second yellows for things like that.
That's-
that early on in the game, and the fact that Joao Pedro did the same thing later on in the game shows you that the referee is biased. They hate Arsenal. They don't want us to compete with Manchester City. No. I don't know why. No. I don't know why that is, but it is true. No. And it always happens. Ty from Arsenal Fan TV, he is right about the referees. They're always against Arsenal.
Ty is the exact same person that I want to take advice from. That's just that's the most ridiculous thing ever. You're just feeling sorry for yourself, like Arsenal always does.
It was definitely a very, very, very soft.
Very
second
soft.
Yellow.
No, it's not soft.
Yes,
That's
it
not
is soft.
That's how you have to manage characters like that. You have to. They have to.
So explain
behave.
to me why Joao Pedro didn't get a yellow card for doing the same thing.
Because you know what?
Because it's
Good.
inconsistencies.
No, it's
and
not
it's
inconsistency.
referees being
It's not
absolutely biased.
It's not inconsistencies.
Yes,
Because
it
I
is.
bet you Declan was in his ear the whole time. Because Declan loves to get in the ear. He loves to, oi, referee. He loves to do the stupid things like that. And you know how that's his character is. He lights up. You could tell. He gets very frustrated very quickly. And you could tell that gesture was to piss off the referee. And he got dealt with it.
We'll agree to disagree about that.
You know what I would have said? Maybe that the handball in the box maybe could have been a penalty. That's what I will say. But a particular Arsenal fan for other fouls would probably say no, it's not direct. It was being tucked anyway. So, what is it, a red? Was it not a red? Was it a pen? Was it not a pen? That I'll give to you. I probably would have called it a pen, but obviously it wasn't, and I don't think it was a robbery. Arsenal didn't perform.
I mean,
Guys played like you should have
the
played.
game should have shown you that how Arsenal are going to be competitive this year, down to 10 men for basically the entire second half.
What?
What do you mean?
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. A loss,
No, it wasn't a loss. We drew 1-1.
you lost points.
Okay, we lost points to a great Brighton team.
A
Down-
great Brighton
yeah, but-
team.
What? No, what are you saying? This is a team that's undefeated in the Premier League so far this
It's
season.
3 games we're playing.
Yeah.
It's the third game week.
Yes, but Brighton have been performing. They have very good, excellent wingers.
They lost some of their better players.
No. Yes, they lost Pascal Gross. Yeah, but they still have Matoma. They have Joao Pedro running up front. They have Danny Welbs. They have a great team, and I'm
An Arsenal reject. Danny
and I'm
Welbeck.
going to it is completely unfair that we got a red card for Declan Rice, but I am happy we didn't lose that game because we could have easily lost that game. Havertz back again. That's 2 and 3. 2 and 3 for Kai Havertz.
I think it's a good segue into someone who has 7 and 3.
Okay, you want to go ahead and talk about Manchester
Yeah,
City?
I
again?
mean,
I'm tired of this.
They're flying.
I'm tired of this
You want
guy.
to know? You want to know? Last year, let's go past Premier League matches. Brighton last season.
yeah.
Okay.
Brighton weren't amazing last
Let's
season.
see. From February 31st, loss, draw, loss, draw, loss.
It's a new
win,
season, and
win against Aston Villa, draw, loss.
it's a new season,
It's
and
just it's
they've started off very well.
They've started off
But,
very well.
uh,
A lot of teams start off well. Arsenal tends to start off well. What does that mean for them near the end of the season? You have to take other things considered. This to me, either they build from it and they don't lose another point for the rest of the season and they put their heads down and they start playing like gentlemen, or they continue to play like children. They continue to manage poorly and make silly decisions and get lucky. No, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's honestly the truth.
That's what you think, but whatever. As we were saying, Manchester City.
I mean, look, clearly the best team in the league at the moment. They're uncontested on all fronts. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Do you think that without a striker like Erling Haaland, they'd be playing the same way with another
I mean,
striker, a different 9?
I mean, a lot of the goals Haaland's been scoring this season haven't been goals that you would see many strikers put away.
He's been scoring some good goals.
Some
They're
good
not
goals.
I'm
regular
tired of
tap-ins.
him. I'm tired. I can't believe it. Every single game, this guy scores a hat trick. He's like second all time or third.
He's tied. He's tied for fourth, I believe. No, third. You got Aguero. I think Robbie Fowler's above him. I think there's one other. He's tied right now with Henry and Harry Kane.
Well, he's gonna beat that comfortably in the next year, probably, because every other game the guy scores a hat trick. I'm tired of this. I think get Haaland out of my sport. Get Haaland out of my league. This is just not fair. This is not fair. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi would be putting up these kind.
I just wanna say-
I don't know if that.
Here's the thing. I don't think that either of those two players, actually Messi maybe, has ever been in an environment, and actually Messi because of the same reason, but has ever been in the same environment as Haaland, where everybody's playing to feed.
Oh, okay, stop. You're
Like
telling
they're
me
utilizing. No.
Real Madrid fed Ronaldo like nobody's
Ronaldo
business.
used to get assists as well.
Yeah, but
You don't. Messi is like number
No,
one.
No, but Haaland doesn't get
you
assists.
you
Yeah,
saw
you're right.
you
You're
saw
right.
as soon as Ronaldo left the team, Benzema's numbers skyrocketed.
No, as soon as Ronaldo left the team, they struggled for a bit, and then
They won 2 Champions Leagues
No,
without Ronaldo.
the season after.
No, but like
Okay,
that's pretty
so
soon
the
after.
season after and
There's
the
a-
season after and a half,
There's
there
some
was a
adjustment.
moment. There was a no. Listen, let me talk for a second. There was a moment of them having to how do you say, reshape themselves, get themselves back to a bit more of an efficient team. They were having a hard time. You would say that their next Champions League win that they won and they knocked out City for was they weren't the favorites. They got not lucky, but they got some lucky goals or they played hard near the end. So they probably shouldn't have gotten that Champions League in terms of like on
they were the
paper.
best team.
But they were the best team. They
but
won the
if
Champions
you
League.
look at the core of that team, though, it's a very similar team to the one Ronaldo left. It's the
No.
same mid three.
No,
Yeah, it is.
it's not.
It is. Casemiro, Modric.
Casemiro's not
Toni
there.
Kroos. No,
Modric
he
is
was there
38.
for that.
Yeah, okay, he was there for a little bit, but now it's 2 years.
Okay,
Casemiro's
same
been there.
midfield. You have
Same midfield. You still had Benzema there when
No,
he
no,
Champions
but
League.
when Ronaldo was there, Camavinga wasn't
look.
a regular like it is now.
Look, obviously Ronaldo.
Valverde wasn't a regular.
Ronaldo is
Or
their
if you want to compare what happened when Messi left, it's a different.
Yeah, you're right.
it's a
When
different story.
exactly when Messi left in a totally different state. Barcelona is still trying to recover from that because they haven't kept up with their books. That's their own fault, unfortunately. That's not you know. It's to blame it on Messi. It's not fair, I wouldn't say. But I mean, Messi did leave well. He left. He didn't generate them any money when he left. He didn't sign off with at least when Ronaldo left, he generated 100 mil.
Yeah, but
That's
I
just
think
truthfully speaking.
it'd be foolish to say that Real Madrid wasn't feeding Ronaldo.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. But Ronaldo was a part of the grand attack, whereas Haaland is he's the cherry on top of the cake. You eat him. You eat him.
I don't think so. I think that team revolved around Ronaldo, and that offense was purely pass the ball to Ronaldo, square to Ronaldo. But you could and you could see that.
That's ridiculous.
And
That's
you could see
ridiculous.
that as soon as he left, Benzema's goals skyrocketed. This is a guy who is capable of scoring a lot more goals, and instead is Real Madrid's top assister. Why? Because he was just passing it to Ronaldo instead of taking the shots himself.
But on every goal from
I mean, I'd rather have Ronaldo shooting than Benzema.
yeah,
I agree.
If I'm being,
But
like
that's what-
honestly speaking,
Oh
but
no,
also,
I'm not saying there was a bad strategy. All I'm saying is that he was fed. And say just
I,
like,
I do think Haaland and Ronaldo. There's a much better player in Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Haaland is a great finisher.
I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. No, of course there is.
What do you
Of
mean?
course he's way better than Ronaldo.
Okay, yeah, we all know this.
It's not about I think.
But
It's
is Haaland a better goal scorer right now?
oh, maybe
at that point
efficiently
in his
terms
career?
of ratios, potentially.
actually, if
He
you look
is.
if you look at the ratio,
I probably of all time.
Ronaldo
right now.
has the record for fastest to 100 goals at a club. He did it in 103 games.
for Juventus.
No, for Real.
Oh, for real.
For Real.
Oh well, he did it pretty quickly for Juventus
Okay,
too.
but he was obviously a much better player for Real. What I'm saying is Haaland is about he has 2 games left. He would need to score 2 games in the next 2 games to beat his record. He's they're close. Like if you're talking about how many goals Ronaldo is scoring at the moment, Haaland is scoring at the moment. Ronaldo's par on par for that same course of time.
I and I'm not surprised if Haaland breaks it, but it's a different generation, and when you look at the goal share on terms compared to when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid, compared to now when Erling Haaland's at City, Erling Haaland, it must be, I don't know the numbers, but it must be at least 80-20. 80% Haaland, 20% the rest of the players. Whereas Ronaldo, it was much more of a 60-40. Everybody was getting goals in that team. Ronaldo was getting a lot of them as well, but there was other players getting goals, and it was being assisted by Ronaldo. That's the big difference. Bernardo Silva I think he's already got like 4 assists this year in 3 games.
He's one.
No,
One.
he's got,
He literally scored. He got like 2 of them last game.
yeah,
No,
he's got more than that. He's good.
No,
He got one last game.
or
he
2.
got-
He has 2.
I think he's a little
Either
higher.
he has
Regardless, it
2.
doesn't matter.
Either has 2, or he has the key. He has the assist. He has the pass before the assist. My point being is that Bernardo Silva will. I can already tell you just by the way they're playing, he's not going to get nearly as many goals as people think he's going to get because he's just going to be the pass to the goal. He's just going to be the assist in the end.
Yeah, but just like Ronaldo was taking most of the shots because Ronaldo was the better finisher. I think
was the better option, yeah.
It makes sense why Haaland.
I
would
get
be-
it. I get it.
and it's yeah, it doesn't make sense to me how good he is and how for sure of a goal he is. You know what I mean? Like 3 goals back-to-back games,
And
then
not,
he scored
not
in
the easiest finishes either.
No, he scored
No,
some bangers.
so far he's been scoring really nice goals. Last year you could maybe thrown it up there for a lot of tap-in style goals, even though he had some phenomenal goals, a lot of acrobatic styled goals. But this year so far, lots of work being
He's
put
gonna
into
win
his goals.
3 Golden Boots in a row. Like that, there's not a debate. He already has 7 goals in 3 games.
Do you think how do you think he'll beat his 35 goal record?
He could.
37
No, he has 34 is the record. Or 35.
in
35.
the Premier League.
Yeah,
and the Premier
Premier League.
Yeah, but he scored 37. He already
He
broke
scored
that.
35. No, the record was Ronaldo who had 30.
No.
Suarez?
Mohamed Salah
Mohamed Salah had 32.
32,
And Haaland got 34. 35.
34, 35. So I'm one of those two, but I think it was 35. But
Yeah. Anyway, he's definitely going to break that if he keeps scoring at this rate, scoring a hat-trick every other game. 7 goals in 3 games is unheard of in the Premier League.
Look,
And you know what? As long as he's there with Pep Guardiola, I don't. Of course, Arsenal are going to push them, and I do believe we have the team to win the league this year. I feel like if everyone's healthy, we can push them all the way. But with Haaland and Pep Guardiola together, like that's a crazy duo already, and it's very scary. I'm very scared for the Premier League.
And I want to add something. Rodri hasn't played a game this season.
Yeah.
yeah, but Rodri's part of their defense, and because of that, they've conceded every game.
I mean, to
Except
say
for
Rodri's purely part of their defense would be blasphemous. I mean, this guy is the guy who takes the ball from the defense to the offense. He's a creative player. He's a goal scorer. This guy is the cog that made this team run last year. And for them to be performing this well without him, I mean,
I
you
wouldn't
guys
call
are
him a
the league's-
goal scorer, but
I mean,
he scored. He
he was a playmaking deep midfielder. I get
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, he contributes. I mean, he won the Champions League. He scored the Champions League winning goal for them. Like, this is.
yeah, I
he'll
know.
get-
Okay, but
I'm just saying he has a few goals in him. He's got a few assists in him.
You would hope on a team like that.
Right,
is
but
my whole point.
But what your argument was that he's purely contributing to defense.
No, but I'm saying you could tell that he's not there because they've been conceding. They've conceded every game except against Chelsea, but Chelsea's offense hasn't been so prolific so far.
They're yet to come up against a real force of a team this
That's
season.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, they're playing Arsenal.
next month.
Yeah, in their next 2 games, they're playing
And then
Arsenal.
you're
at home.
playing Man U right after, aren't you?
We're talking about Manchester City right now. I think that after that Arsenal game, it'll show us, like, if Manchester City destroy us, I don't see how anyone's gonna stop.
Do you think that Arsenal, based off of City's performance now and Arsenal's past performances, have a
Well,
chance?
yeah, of course, because I do think we had a red card, so it's not fair to judge us with a red card against Brighton. We drew the game, we didn't lose it. If we lost it, I think that 1 point can make a big difference at the end of the season. I'm okay with dropping points.
Be 2
to
points.
I'm
really.
yeah. No, but we got an extra point. If we lost, we would have not had that point. I feel
you're
that
saying
point can,
for drawing the game.
yeah, I feel like drawing the game is much better than losing it, and I just feel that Arsenal, if they can continue to push and maybe not drop off points in games like that, we're gonna be okay. We beat Aston Villa, which we didn't do last year at all, and that's a team that can take off points from Manchester City, Liverpool. I think we're still in a decent position.
I genuinely don't think Villa's, as much as everybody likes to surround them with love and support, Villa's not the team. Villa should not be the team that is up for taking points away from big teams.
They're a Champions League team right now.
No.
They're one of the big teams, unlike Manchester United, which we can go. We can go right into that. Manchester United again, another destruction at home. Okay, by Liverpool, completely obliterated them 3-0. I don't care what you have to say. Manchester United, best transfer window of the season, like you were telling me. De Ligt, Mazwari, who else? Xerxes? The guy looks like Lukaku, but worse.
I've never
What a
said-
terrible team. You're telling me that team, De Ligt, why do you think they got De Ligt for 45 million? You think Bayern Munich would just give away a fantastic defender like that? No, you got a scrub. De Ligt, Mazwari, Bayern Munich didn't want them. Right to Manchester United, where of course, look at Eric Ten Hag. Can you believe it? He's building his team. He's building his
Ajax
dream
team
team.
is back.
Ajax dream team. Look at that. De Ligt, Anthony. He's getting the gang back together. Why don't you call Van der Beek back up from the La Liga? I can't believe what I watched this weekend.
I can tell.
can't believe
I can
it.
tell you. You feel very colorful. You're getting very.
I am so happy
You're
to
getting
see
very
Manchester
colorful.
United losing again 3-0 to Liverpool.
Well, at least we could set the record straight that if people are gonna consider me an Arsenal hater, we could definitely consider Alexei a United hater.
Oh, I there's no team that I hate more than Manchester
I'm
United.
glad that you've said that. Now let's just set another record straight. I've never told you on the record that United has had a good transfer window.
I think you did. I think
No,
you,
it wasn't me. It was in private. Firstly, so to reference it on the show is slightly irrelevant because nobody else knows what the heck you're talking about.
I'm just saying that you said
But fine,
that they
but
had a better transfer window than Arsenal.
Let me explain to you something. When a transfer window doesn't, in my opinion, is not directly correlated oftentimes to how a player you bring in performs in their club. It can be. That is one way of looking at it. But it also it's a financial standpoint. It's value for player purchased. If you buy a player, like for example,
Anthony for 100 million.
Anthony for 100 million, terrible transfer in terms of value for money. Now,
In terms of everything.
no, because if you'd have paid 10 million for him, nobody would have cared. He
Yeah,
wouldn't be so much of a laughing stock.
And he was still been not worth that 10 million.
No. That's crazy to say.
What do you
Because-
mean?
No, because he has potential to at some point in his career, hopefully, develop.
He's like 25 years old. How long am I waiting?
He's not. I think he's like maybe 24, 23. He's a little still. He's still quite young, and 25 is relatively young. Rashford's hitting his 25s, is he not?
He's 26. Rashford.
Okay, so point being, and Rashford,
Well, you're talking about scrubs to me right now.
100%. I
So
you
there's
know,
nothing you can say. What you're saying, to me, I don't agree with. A bad transfer window is bringing in players that don't necessarily take you to that next step. I don't think that they did that. I feel like Maguire is just as good as Delict. I'm going to be honest with
I'm
you.
glad that
from
you
what
let
I've
me
seen.
speak instead of cutting me off because I was just telling you that it's not one or the other. It's either one. It's not one or the other.
What do you mean? What does
Like-
that mean?
It doesn't. Just because they don't play well doesn't mean that it's a bad transfer.
Yes, it does.
No.
What are you talking about?
They lost a 9 in Hoyland. He's injured. They brought in a 9. Whether he was good or not, they needed him. The money they paid for him because he played well at Bologna. He performed well.
Well, they brought him in to play alongside Hoyland or maybe together. You know,
I know,
they
but
didn't-
that transfer you could tell now. You could see has proven to be much more important than.
Yeah, he's very important. Scoring 0 goals.
My
against
friend,
Liverpool.
he's
has one goal.
young.
Yeah, he's 1 goal. Yeah.
He's young, and you have to understand. Look, I know that you came very passionate towards me about United. I don't claim United. I'm
We
never
all
gonna
know
claim,
you claim United.
No, I'm never going to claim that.
Okay, if there was one team in the Premier League that you would want to,
None of them. I don't like the Premier League.
Okay, or we all know at home that Adriano
Ipswich. No, actually, it's
loves
actually
Manchester
no.
United.
You don't want to know what? Actually, I have more of an affinity, and I don't like to say it because I don't care that much. But I like Chelsea above all teams.
I want. Okay, really?
Yes,
Because they coached by.
I like Mourinho. He coached there, but Mourinho also went to United. But I don't like what United. I respect for what they stand for. I respect them as a club.
You shouldn't.
No. You have no reason to not do that. It's teams like United. It's teams like Chelsea. It's teams like now City that have made the Premier League what it is. It's not teams like Arsenal, unfortunately. It's not teams like Arsenal. It's not teams like Arsenal.
Okay, teams like City, teams like Chelsea. So
The
the,
most-
teams that get billionaire owners to come in and buy everybody.
Unfortunately, that's the
Arsenal
truth.
and Manchester United. I'm going to just say those are the real Premier League top dogs.
No,
okay?
right now, finally, when Arsenal decides to turn things around and perform a little bit better, is when the league is least competitive. Man United is not doing well when they should be. They are the reason a conversation of top 6 is started. United is one of those teams. Chelsea in its later times of the league has become that. They've won the Premier League often. They've been competitive.
It's
They've
been
won
like
the
this.
Champions
It's
League.
been like this for I don't know how long. There's always 2 teams fighting it for the top. There's very rarely 3. We saw it last year. It was 3: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City.
Well,
Sure.
I'll tell you what. At the beginning of the Premier League, there was more often 3, and I'll tell you what. Arsenal was often not part of that 3 conversation.
What are you talking about? Of course they were.
They were there for 2004, 2005.
No, what are you talking about? If Arsenal and Man U were the 2 teams biting for top 1, top 2, then Chelsea came.
No, Liverpool
Man
was
City-
also there.
Liverpool was rarely there.
No, Liverpool was also there.
Are we
You
talking
have-
purely Premier League here? Because Liverpool
Yeah.
have only won 1 Premier League.
I understand, but they've been competitive.
Okay,
Right.
Arsenal have been, in the beginning of the Premier League era, it was Manchester United and Arsenal.
No, okay.
It was.
I
It
mean,
just was. And
Of course, City only started to become relevant on the Saudi takeover starting like 2006. So I know that. Like I get that. It's only now where City has become its most popular,
okay.
and it's even people like to make the no fans in the stands joke, stuff like that. But anyway, we've diverged entirely from the conversation.
yeah, well, let's go back to United. What do you think about
Honestly,
their
what scares me
whooping?
most about United is I feel like they lack identity. I see them play.
It's the coach. It's the manager.
That-
I think the manager's
exactly.
a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I think he's got to go. I don't know. I'm not surprised if I get a ding on my phone a second from now saying he's been sacked.
I don't know how that
He'll
club
never
is
get,
being run.
He won't get sacked. He's not.
Yeah,
He's not.
well, they were looking openly for another manager during the summer. They
That's
didn't find
right.
anyone.
Well, because who you gonna? The managers they want to bring in, the managers that are available to bring in, they don't want to bring in.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They want a submissive.
They're looking
manager.
for someone, I
they
think,
want a
yeah.
submissive manager. They don't want a dominant manager. They've had dominant managers.
Well, you say that, but look what they're letting Ten Hag do. He's bringing in all the players he wants to, and they're spending
behind
millions
the
and millions.
scenes, I believe, I'm keen to believe behind the scenes, he's very submissive. He lets.
They're letting him buy whoever he
But
wants.
he's
Buying the whole Ajax
It's the
team.
Glazers that own them, correct?
Yeah,
It's
but
not.
if you're just talking
The Gla-
submissive, you wouldn't
No,
see seeing
it's
so
not
many
the
It's not
Dutch
the Glazers
players.
own Liverpool.
Yeah.
No, Fenway Liverpool. It's the Glazers. Sorry.
You wouldn't be seeing 100 mil for Anthony and 35 mil for De Ligt and all these Dutch players come in if the manager didn't have a huge role to play in these.
And
Yes,
not only
I
that,
understand.
Mazwari, who also played in the Dutch league. You have.
I don't know
I-
if Massawari played in the Dutch
Yeah,
league.
he did, and then he went to Bayern Munich. I'm pretty sure. He
Okay,
played,
I don't know. I don't remember where he came from.
He's buying all the players that he wants to, and I don't understand
Agreed.
why they're letting
I
him
agree.
do that
I
because
agree.
he's clearly making a lot of mistakes. Bringing in that who was that left back that what's his name? You know that
Tellus?
no the What's his name?
Malasia.
Malasia, terrible signing. He brought him in. Anthony, terrible signing. He brought him in. They're letting him bring Xerxes after that. Who is Xerxes? He scored 9 goals in
Yeah,
the
but-
Serie A.
but-
One of the easiest leagues to score goals. in.
Fine.
One of the easiest leagues to score goals. in.
It's not. It's statistically not, actually. It's statistically not. But you are keen to believe because you've never watched. Again,
I'm just
I'll
joking.
continue to say until you decide to expand your horizons a bit, and you don't watch anything but the Premier League.
I watch La Liga.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't. You don't. You stat watch the La Liga. You
I know.
don't.
I watch
the-
Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah, when you can, once in a while.
When they
you
play.
don't watch them. You don't watch the rest of the teams.
No, I do not watch.
You'll not
I
sit-
do not watch Deportivo La Coruña play Levante. You're right. I do not.
But you'll watch
think you can.
Fulham.
Levante's not in
You'll
the
watch
league.
Fulham play Wolves.
See?
You'll watch Fulham play Wolves if there's nothing else to watch.
True. I
Okay,
will
so-
because the Premier League is, in my opinion, the most entertaining league.
Okay, point proven. You don't watch any other league. You watch the Premier League.
I
That's
watch.
fine.
No, but you're saying that, but I'll watch AC Milan if they're
You
playing
watch
Inter Milan.
teams. No, you won't even.
Yes,
do
I
that.
will.
You
I
won't
will.
even do that.
I will. If it's a competitive game in a
Yeah, if
different
it's like
league,
a Champions
going-
League semifinal, like
No.
2 years ago was.
No, I'll watch it if it's near the end of the season. They're competing for the league. I'm not going to watch a 4th place team play 8th place team in the Serie A, but I will do that in the Premier League because I'm interested. How many leagues can you follow? The Premier League it's a lot to cover already.
It's not. I watch all the teams that I like to talk about. I watch them.
Okay,
I
good.
like to learn about their
Good.
leagues. That's fine.
Okay.
I take the sacrifice of not watching the Bundesliga just like you, but I don't talk about the Bundesliga like I know about it. I know about what's up about it. I know that.
I know about
Leverkusen lost their first
I know
goal in 35 games.
Bayern Munich. I know these things, but whatever. Let's get back to the Premier League.
No. I want to say lastly because I was saying to the point. Ten Hag is a submissive coach. He behind the scenes listens to the ownership. He goes yes. He whatever.
But this is speculation. You don't know
No,
crap
no.
about
Yeah,
You
but
can
you don't.
tell.
That's not true though, because he's clearly bringing in the players he wants to.
He has no
How
management.
submissive-
He has no management credentials. He's not a
I
proven
mean, he
manager.
was very good at Ajax. He got
Okay,
them to
that's
the
the
Champions
Dutch
League
league.
semi-final.
It's
He
the
got them
Dutch
to
league.
the Champions League semi-final. He was good at Ajax, but I think it's a complete
You know who else was in that Champions League semifinal?
Tottenham. Yeah, but he got them there, and he, if it wasn't for a collapse, he would have been a Champions League finalist. And I do think that they saw something there. Maybe
Nobody-
he's good with young players and the Ajax, and that's
You
the
know
way
what?
he wants
Arsenal should know best. Nobody remembers this first person to lose, so nobody cares about second place. Finalist is fine.
But you're saying stuff that's not necessarily true because they're giving Ten Hag everything he's asking for.
because I'm keen to believe behind the scenes he's
Okay, but-
he's like a dog.
Yeah, but you
because
don't know
the last
this.
few managers they've had, except for Ole, for example, but Ole has no credentials to be a good manager.
But exactly, they weren't giving Ole everything he asked for.
But they were giving
weren't
Ole
going-
the opportunity. They were giving him the opportunity. They were saying, "Okay, fine.
I
You
disagree.
coached the youth academy. You were here. You've been at the club for years."
They're giving Ten Hag a lot of opportunities to stay at the club. They're letting him buy who he wants to. They let him rebuild basically that entire team. Because of him, Ronaldo left. Because
right,
of him,
because
he didn't
of
want
him.
him. Exactly, he had that power, and I think that was a bad choice. I'd rather Cristiano Ronaldo at that club than Ten Hag.
I
think anybody would.
I agree. But
I-
anyway,
they have
you
to
know what?
get-
That's a good point. I'll agree with you on that. But I believe, compared to the other managers they've had, who are always bigger characters, who are often at the times they're managing, way more popular than their own club. Mourinho was more popular than United at that time. They had Pogba. They had a couple of names. They played like crap.
I mean, I don't remember
And
the
he-
last time
and-
they were playing well. I think that
The last
season,
time they
Bruno-
did play really well was when it was Mourinho and he won them trophies, but nobody will remember that
Honestly,
because it was overall
I think it was the season. It was the season that they signed Fernandes. I remember them. That Rashford was playing well. Fernandes was scoring goals. As soon as Ronaldo came in, that's honestly the down. That
What
was
are you
a-
talking
No,
about?
Ronaldo was a very important part of that
Ronaldo
team.
was so
He was
crucial.
carrying them. He scored 18 goals in the league, bro. Come on.
18 goals in the league.
He
Havertz on
got
track
them.
for
He got
18
them.
goals.
He got them into the Champions League knockout stages.
Havertz is not on track for 18 goals.
I mean, if,
Yeah,
No.
if you're just on track,
he
yes.
is.
I mean, if you
He
just
scored 2 goals in 3 games.
If
but-
he plays every game, and he plays like this every game, which history shows he doesn't play like this every game, then okay, we can make an argument for it. But a 37-year-old Ronaldo playing for an awful United team, saving them from being knocked out of the Champions League multiple times in the group stage.
I don't know.
Come on,
I think,
that's not a fair
yeah,
comparison.
I think they were
Ronaldo
playing
was,
better.
That was crazy.
Ronaldo was the best thing that happened to United in
I
many
disagree.
years.
I think they played better without Ronaldo. I think.
But what shows you that? There's nothing to show you that. You see, as
Rashford
soon as
is-
he left,
Yeah, Ronaldo. No, sorry, Man United that season where they had Fernandes at the focal point. Rashford was scoring plenty of goals off the wing. Disappeared when Ronaldo came. Fernandes has not been the same player since. He has not been able to come back to that same form where he was running that offense, scoring goals left, right, and center.
I don't think the problem is ever Ronaldo because they don't have Ronaldo right now and they're complete garbage. And so is Bruno Fernandes right now. He's complete garbage. Rashford's complete garbage right now. No Ronaldo. The whole team is complete garbage.
Look,
you know
they're,
why?
They're a garbage
Because
team. They still finished fourth last year.
no,
You know what?
No, they finished 6th last
Yeah,
year.
they finished
sixth,
sixth, and
okay.
they might have even finished 8th if it wasn't for a couple good
Yeah, that's true. That's
results
true.
at
They
the
did
end.
finish pretty far
But
down.
you know what? I think they are a garbage team. I think they are a crap team, but they do not have, on paper, garbage quality players. These players, for the most part, should be playing much better than they are. So you have to, there has to be some kind of.
But if you look at their team, you know what? I'm not going to continue saying this. I do not think De Ligt is as good as the signings everybody is saying he is. Mazwari, I think he's better than what you have. Anyway, I think Manchester United just had a not as good of a transfer window as they thought they did, or as people think they do. I think it's pretty average.
Honestly, I just want to leave it with a very crazy stat that I saw on the internet this week.
Let's hear it.
So, since January 2021, here are the list of the players who have scored the most goals at Old Trafford.
January 2020.
Of all time, or
No,
that
no,
season?
since January 2021,
Okay.
the people who have scored the
Oh,
most goals
I got you.
at Old Trafford. Number
Can
one.
we guess?
Okay, number one, sure, go.
I think I heard you say anyway. I had a feeling it's Marcus Rashford for like 9 goals.
No, Rashford has 31 goals. I mean,
Okay.
it is still
2021. He scored
Yeah,
17
you're right.
goals.
That's quite a while ago.
Number two,
Bruno.
Bruno with 29. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number three,
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Yeah. Number four,
And you only stayed there for 1 season.
no,
No,
two,
two
two
seasons.
seasons. Number four, it's McTominay.
Oh, I was gonna guess that.
And number five, who do you think number five is?
Anthony.
Anthony.
It's Mohamed Salah.
Oh, because Salah.
Salah
Oh,
has-
because he scored
At Old Trafford.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
That's actually insane. Is that
The-
true?
Since January 2021, Mohamed Salah is Old Trafford's fifth highest scorer
that's
How is
embarrassing.
that possible?
It's embarrassing.
with 10 goals.
That's insane. That's terrible.
That's embarrassing.
That is
wow, that's
embarrassing.
a fun stat. Thank
Right?
you, Max.
Just to before we move on. That is actually the exact reason, and that's what I was trying to get at before. Where United is, I wouldn't say the identity of the Premier League or the identity of English football, but because they're doing so poorly, like that's a crazy stat. This is the impression the Premier League gives to me on their overall.
I mean, it's just It's just.
It's not just United
It is
because
just United.
well,
I don't
because
think there's a team. Right
there's
now.
only 2 teams in the Premier League that are competitive in all of Europe, and only one of them. And within the Premier League, there's 2 teams. Moving on.
I mean, there's 3 teams in the Premier League right now that I think could go far in the Champions League.
And
this
2 of them don't. Okay, this anyway.
I mean, I think Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City all have claims to go
far.
semi-finals.
Quarterfinals.
I mean, quarterfinals I think is very reasonable. I think at least one of them will be in the semis.
I'll set it straight now. I'll make a bet. Only of the 3 teams that are gonna have a chance in the Champions League
What's
this
this
year.
bet?
It's not a bet.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a statement here.
Okay.
there's going to be 3 teams that are going to make it up to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
One of them will only get past. And I'm being nice quarterfinals. I think one of them's going to be like
Wait, 3 teams are going to be in the quarterfinals?
in the Premier League.
Out of
So
the 8.
there's okay. What do you mean? I don't understand.
3 Premier League teams will be in the quarters, and only one will make it to the semis.
Well, there's only 4 Premier League teams in the Champions League.
Okay, and Aston Villa's not going to make it. So
So you think 3 out of the 4 will make it to the quarterfinals?
I think
That's pretty. There's only 8 teams in the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
So there's 3. Half the teams are going to be English.
but
teams.
you just said it. There's only 4 English teams in the whole Champions League this year.
Well, they're okay. Well,
How many are there from Serie A? Okay, let's move on.
Anyway, moving on. Chelsea, they're good win
you
for
don't want
them.
to talk about Liverpool for a second?
Oh yeah, sure. Liverpool. I mean, we kind of were in
Are they
this.
league contenders? 3 out of 3 wins. Salah.
I mean, look.
scoring.
Yes, they're the only team who hasn't conceded so far. That speaks volumes. The manager seems to have a good head on his shoulders. You hear him talking after the game, giving his press conference.
He seems locked in.
Yeah, I know.
He seems like the better bald Dutch manager. You know.
I don't believe any good Dutch managers exist. So, and I'm not going to say Johan.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, look, I like. I mean, he's different personality wise than Klopp. Klopp's a little more animated. He's the kind of guy who runs off the pitch celebrating when you score a last minute goal, whereas Serge.
I think Klopp was good for the Premier League. It was good for media.
Oh, I love
It
Klopp.
was good for advertisement. Yeah, I liked Klopp. He seemed like a very genuine man. Like I like characters like that. I like managers that can hold an interview, that can make things interesting. But you know what? If he gets a result for the team, if the fans like him, I have no particular opinion about
the one
Liverpool.
thing I will say is they haven't really been tested yet. I don't think Manchester United was a test.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
That's fair.
coming up against teams like Aston Villa, Arsenal, Man City, even Chelsea is going to be a bigger test for them. Their midfield absolutely destroyed Manchester United's midfield. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, I think, is a pretty good midfield. I don't think it's the best, and against stronger midfielders like Rodri, Rice, even Caicedo, I think they're going to have a bigger problem.
I actually wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm
consider
definitely
that
excited
very
to see how they do against tougher opposition. But I mean, given they're the only team who hasn't conceded a goal, clearly their defense is doing the right
I
things.
mean, Van Dijk, Konate,
Yeah.
that's pretty strong.
I mean, yeah, with Robertson and Trent on either side,
Allison, best goalie.
it's
Prem.
definitely a great team right now. I do want to see them face one of the top teams to see how they perform. I at the same time, I'm talking about how good the manager is, but at the same time, I feel like this is still Klopp's Liverpool we're seeing, in terms of how they.
Well, he rebuilt it. He got these are basically all of his signings.
I mean, yeah, and then in terms of how they play as well, not too different. Still, generally the same formation, right?
Well, I think that's why they picked the guy
Yeah.
to replace him pretty well.
They did a good job.
They didn't rush into it. They
I
had
mean,
it planned out.
That, and also alongside the fact that football nowadays is becoming very uniform in terms of the styles. We don't see like back in the day so many different styles. There's a style that managers can see is efficient, and certain managers played in different ways, but it's becoming very similar in style, in my opinion, anyway. Like
Well,
there's obviously different tendencies.
It's a different style that Man City have. It's a lot more
but I mean, compared to
counterattack.
but compared to like early club days, it's much more similar than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
So this is my point. They're a lot more like City than they were before. That's 100%. That, in my opinion, is 100% fact. But the manager's doing a great job. You mentioned their midfield. What I will say is, just because they don't sound like big names doesn't really correlate to the fact that whether they play good or not with each other, and if they perform well.
Well, yeah.
And that's all that really matters.
They have good like McAllister, man. He's amazing. He's really, really good. What a bargain for 35, 40 million. It's great.
So
Fantastic.
now it's about the money.
I mean, it's a bargain. Like he costed them almost nothing, and
What if he cost it 100 mil? Justifiable?
I mean, still not bad.
No,
He could
he's-
go
he's
for
not worth
80
that.
mil right now, and I'd be like,
I mean,
that's a
he's
good signing. He's
Better
he's-
than Caicedo.
yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Caicedo's very good.
Caicedo, if he'd have went to a
Caicedo's very good. He's a
Caicedo's
different player.
a very good player. If he'd have went to a team that is a bit more built with a little bit more structure,
Yeah.
I think he'd perform a lot better.
Yeah, and like Chelsea, we'll talk about Chelsea for a second right now. 1-1 to Crystal Palace after obliterating Wolves. Like I said last week to a lot of my friends, relax there. It's Wolves, 6-0, 6-2.
You were pretty happy about a result against Wolves.
6-2 to Wolves. It is. Yes, you're right. I was.
No.
I was happy. I was happy.
That's
but,
right.
it's not like they outplayed Wolves. If you saw the game, the XG, they basically had, I think they had less expected goals than Wolves, and they beat them 6-2.
Yeah.
I think Wolves had a very bad defensive day. Madueke scored a hat trick that day. And, it was a really good, everything clicked for Chelsea that day. But I said, relax. This is not what you should be thinking Chelsea's going to be like for the rest of the season.
But again,
and just like this past week, 1-1 against Crystal Palace, they struggled a lot to create anything.
Yeah.
They don't have a real striker. Jackson scored, but I feel
scored and assisted.
No, he's just scored one.
I haven't been fantasy. He scored and assisted.
They won 1-1. So if he scored and assisted, that's a fantastic.
I was talking about the week against.
They drew 1-1.
My fault.
It's okay, but Chelsea struggled, and Eze scored a banger. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
Outside
Good
the
goal.
box, finesse shot.
But I mean, compared to Wolves, in my opinion, Crystal Palace currently, or maybe in the past 10 years, are a lot more of a structured club than Wolves is.
They got better players right now, for
Yeah.
sure.
But again, it's
Eddie
not-
Nketiah in their team now.
But again, it might not always be the names of the players. It's how they play with each other. If you have that's why the Premier League has always been interesting in the past, because it's the lower teams that play very well with each other to create a competitive team, whether or not they have big names or not. That's what
Crystal Palace has been there for a while. It's not like they're one of the relegated.
Wolves has been there for 6
Yeah,
years now or
Wo-
something.
Wolves
It's been in
has
the
been there
Prem for a while.
Yeah.
And they juiced a lot of players from Portugal, like everybody knows. It's it's like Portugal 2.0. They had a lot of good, talented players, but they never seemed to gel, in a way where they can perform like a high top 10 team. For
I
example,
mean, I think they finished sixth their first season in the
Who,
Prem.
Wolves?
Yeah, they had one of the best
I
ever.
couldn't.
first.
but is that the best since? Might be the best since.
It might be, honestly. Got out of the gates running, and I think they're up there in terms of best first seasons in the Prem. Like just relegated seasons or just promoted seasons. I think they're one of the top seasons.
Wolves are good, but Crystal Palace.
Wolves are not good.
Wo-
Wolves are not good.
No, they're not good.
They're not good.
Crystal Palace is a decent team this season, and Chelsea struggled against their first. Other than City, I don't see anything there. It's just a collection of players that it's randomly bought. How you let go of Gallagher and Sterling and bring in players arguably washed like Joao Felix and.
I agree with the Gallagher one. Gallagher was probably their second best player last season. Just out the door, just like that.
I think what it is, Gallagher, I think, is a player in a wrong generation. Gallagher reminds.
No, he's great, bro. They only got rid of him because for the books, he's a Chelsea youth academy player. They were able to.
You think that's the only reason?
That is the only reason. There's no other explanation to get rid of him because he was great and they could have definitely used him.
Well, there's a lot of footage of him maybe. And this is not me saying anything in particular, but
You're talking about the allegations?
there's a lot of allegations based off of, how he feels about certain types of players, and he's surrounded by many of them at that club. So maybe in the locker room, he might not have been.
Those ones are jokes, but you have Enzo Fernandez there, who clearly
Yeah, he's also
he's
not,
a little questionable.
I
you
mean,
know?
I think that's more of a song.
I
they were
think that's
singing,
more of a
wasn't it?
cultural
yeah,
thing.
but
I think that's
the
more of a
song is
cultural
a
thing. I
racist
think that's more of
I
a cultural
agree,
thing.
It's a racist song. It's
and
just
when you have French players,
Yeah, I think it's a cultural
your
thing.
team.
I think it's a cultural thing, but because the culture is embedded in him.
is racism.
I would agree.
Well,
I mean, Argentina is a pretty racist country.
Yeah, I don't know if Alexei realized what I was getting at, but he agreed fully.
yeah, I know they
South
some
Americans
players-
can be very
Yeah,
racist.
they are. It's a
Yeah.
cultural thing. It's a very
I'm
cultural
saying
thing.
that I was born in Chile for all of you wondering.
Of
Oh,
all
Max, you gotta-
of all countries in the South America, Chile, I probably the least because they're of First Nation people, and I mean this. We don't have to talk about history here and geography, but when you go more to the other coast, to the other sides of the continent, it's and more of like metropolitan cities. Well, metropolitan's a bit word, but bigger cities in Brazil, for example, in
well, they're,
Argentina.
I mean, Brazil is not. They're all.
No, Brazil's racist, but Brazil is a
They're
different
like-
type of people. Yeah, it's different.
They're all.
Anyway,
Are
we can move on
Okay,
from.
whatever.
Yeah,
the
they're of
cultural
African descent.
differences.
Is that what you wanted to say?
Yeah, they are. But anyway, where were we before we started talking about race?
Chelsea, Liverpool. Anyway, who's
Okay,
left
well,
on the top?
you
of the
know-
No, but I
basics?
just actually thank you for reminding me. Gallagher, I genuinely think is a player of a in the wrong generation. I think he's a great player. Yes, he played well for Chelsea them last year. Whatever. If
For England as well.
sorry.
For England as well, he played well.
Yeah, for England he plays well too. But the type of playing style that he has, it reminds me, and I know I don't want to make comparisons, but it's of a Roy Keane type of mentality. It's of a Roy Keane style, a little bit more gritty, a little bit more aggressive. I love that, like a Gattuso, very aggressive, very gritty. He'll go into a crunching
He's
tackle.
technically gifted as well.
He is technically gifted too.
I think.
I
He's
agree,
A bit more.
but technically gifted.
than-
That's what I mean. He's of a different generation with talent of this generation.
I mean, I don't think it has to do with his skill. I think they were just trying. They're just trying to build a certain type of team, and they needed to acquire more funds, and they let him go to Atletico Madrid, and
So be it,
And,
so be it.
And in return, got Joao Felix. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Well, no,
I
Joao
don't.
Felix came on I'm pretty sure they don't
Well,
pay for him.
No, they did pay for him, and it had to be like there's a discussion there. You know, you send one player, we'll send you another for whatever. Felix to me, he's a good
maybe.
he's a good player, but I don't think that's what they're missing. I think they're missing a clinical 9 up front. Osimhen could have been good. I don't know why they didn't go for Tony, even though
Well,
I don't rate Tony
Do you
that
think
highly.
Nkunku is a good playmaking forward
Yeah,
based off the way he performs?
He's a good
He
forward,
didn't
but
even play last game, honestly.
Oh, but there's a reason why he didn't play. He's not injured.
is he not?
No,
no, he's not injured. I don't know why he didn't play.
because he doesn't play. He's not been playing so well. So obviously, if he's not playing well in a league like the Premier League, in the standard of today's game, it's either you're in or you're out. You have to perform, and when you perform, you play. If you don't perform, you don't play. Unless you're Trossard at Arsenal. I don't know what's going on there.
Apparently,
but-
there's rumors he's gonna leave.
Trossard?
Yeah.
Nkunku?
No,
Trossard?
Trossard. I saw.
What are you talking about?
What's the guy who posts all this stuff about?
Romano?
Romano posted about him.
Fabrizio.
Fabrizio,
I
yeah.
don't think
But
so.
in any case,
The transfer window is closed, Max.
yeah,
Uh,
transfer
they're
window
not
for the
let-
Premier
the-
League's closed.
For the Premier,
Yeah, but they're not gonna let out.
you can
like,
sell players though.
Trossard is a starter right now at Arsenal. They're not.
Well, he
Then-
started last game.
Well, he's gonna start for.
I hope so. I have him in my fantasy, but
I mean, he's good. He's a good player. So that's it. Tottenham. Tottenham lost against Newcastle. Isaac scored the winner.
yeah, that's crazy. Oh, actually, we made predictions last episode about how we'd fare on this.
Oh, do you want to go to our predictions, Max?
I don't
You
know
wanna
if
round it
we
up with some
do. We have them
discussion?
written down.
No, we don't have any.
Yeah, I
written
don't
down.
think we wrote
Oh.
it down. We didn't.
Well, I thought you were writing them. You were writing them down.
Me?
Yeah, you were.
No.
Anyway, we'll do that next time.
Oh.
But
That's great, but that's really good. That's a showcase of Alexei just offsourcing and.
I
blaming
was
other people.
sure you wrote
Two
them
people
down.
he blamed. There's only 3 in this room. There's 2 people he blamed for.
yeah, Al Hilal Attad had bid for.
Okay,
Trossard.
good.
Al Ittihad?
Al Ittihad.
Yeah. Al
It's not
Ittihad.
with an E. It's with an I.
I put an I. Yeah.
Ittihad.
I'm pretty sure that's where Benzema and Kante play.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah. But anyway, you know,
This
So
is, this is he tweeted this 9 hours ago. By the way, Arsenal have informed Al Ittihad about their decision to reject the 35
Okay,
million
of
okay,
course.
so he's not.
So thank you very much.
It could be
uh,
misleading sometimes. The Fabrizio posts.
I mean,
you
no,
know.
no, he didn't post
There
that he
we
was
land.
going. He just
There we land.
he posted about the bid. They
Oh,
bid
right.
35 million euros.
Well, those clubs bid for anybody. You know, whatever they can get their hands on.
Yeah, they're not very picky.
How much would you sell Trossard for?
I wouldn't sell him.
How much did Arsenal get him for? 30 mil.
20
20 mil?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you know,
From Brighton, was it?
Yep.
And they got Matoma to replace
Yep.
him.
I wish he'd have stayed at Brighton for me. But crazy starter.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Tottenham losing against Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah, Newcastle are on fire. 2 wins, 1 draw. Go
I don't know
Newcastle.
about
on fire. I mean,
I mean,
that's
that's
a
a good win. you
Big
know,
win, huge win,
yeah.
huge win.
that's good points.
And by the way, the game they drew, man down, just like Arsenal. So
Yeah.
pretty similar trajectories if you consider it.
Yeah.
Scored a man down as well. Unlike you guys who scored then went a man down, they
Yeah.
scored a man
well,
down.
you can't expect Arsenal to play
Okay.
like good teams.
Anyway, we're talking about Newcastle right now.
Denali's back, been
Ali's
playing out of his
back,
mind.
Played pretty good too.
Harvey Barnes, for some reason, has a new resurgence. Leicester's back in the league, and he's now trying to prove himself somehow.
Harvey
But,
Barnes is a good player.
Oh, yeah, he was. Just last season, he was just overshadowed immensely by Gordon.
Yeah.
But now they moved Barnes to the right side to make room for Gordon on the left, and seems to be working out great for them.
Yeah. Well, Barnes was a right winger.
No, he was always left.
Was he?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I think Gordon played on the left as well.
Yeah, no. Leicester played Vardy, Barnes left, Madison middle, and they usually had a Jose or some.
Okay. Well, Isak scored a winner. You know, first goal of the season for him. That's why I wanted our Arsenal. We didn't get him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why they refused to sell him. You know, he's clinical. He'll get you the extra 2 points just like he did. And there you go.
Also, for some reason, Newcastle just seemed to destroy Tottenham. I think last year it was like a crazy score line over their 2 games.
Well, I think last year Newcastle. Well, I don't know what kind of expectations people put on them, but in terms of my expectations, they definitely exceeded it and the way they performed last year.
Well, last year they didn't do so well compared to the season before.
Or that's what I'm referencing, the season before. But last year they grabbed some points off some teams that needed the points.
Yeah,
maybe more than them.
You know, last year. Hello. They didn't have as good of a season as they did the year before. I think now, with Tonali back, I don't know much about Tonali. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
I know he's a gambling addict, you know, but that's not good. It's a bad thing. I hope he fixes addiction because addiction
he's not addicted.
Addiction is a problem, and I hope that he can get
He's not a gambling
better.
addict.
I mean,
He just bet on himself, which is illegal.
wasn't it his excuse he was an addict or something?
Yeah, obviously, what else are you gonna tell them?
Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's all I know about him for now.
That's how you don't go to jail.
Yeah, I just checked it up. Last year, Newcastle's record versus Tottenham was 8 goals scored, 1 conceded. They won 4-1 the first game, 4-0 the second game, and to 2-1 this game. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Nice.
For some reason, Newcastle have Tottenham's number as a lead.
Well,
I mean, many teams have Tottenham's number. One of them is Arsenal.
not Arsenal.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of Arsenal and Isaac Tony, though, Isaac.
I want that
Ivan
guy.
Toney.
I want that guy.
You want Ivan
I
Toney?
want Isaac Tony, bro. I
Isaac.
want. Give me Isaac Tony.
What a
right
hybrid
now.
that'd be.
Isaac dribbling, Tony finishing.
Yeah.
But Tony gone out of the Premier League.
Yeah.
What
Good.
do you think?
Good. I think that's his level. I do not rate Tony that high. Last year he had 6 goals in 15 games for Brentford.
Okay.
I know he was
Half a season is still.
6 goals in 15 games is not fantastic. They were asking for 80 million last year. Thank God we didn't get him. I do, and you know what? He is a little bit of a penalty merchant himself.
I mean, he's probably the best penalty taker in the world.
You want to know?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Statistically, he is. He
Yeah.
is.
Statistically, the best penalty taker.
We're forgetting about one of the best penalty takers of all time.
You talking about
Where,
Ronaldo?
the guy in the Saudi league.
No, he never played in the Saudi League. This player.
Who?
Hazard?
No,
Balotelli?
Hazard, Mario Balotelli.
Okay, but where is Balotelli even playing these days? Is it in the Liga?
I think Ivan Toney's missed 1 penalty his whole career.
Yeah.
Balotelli, I think scored almost 50 and only missed like
You're
one or
right.
two.
Balotelli was up there as
Yeah,
well.
he's good.
And-
But right now, I put Tony in
I
number
feel
one.
like scoring penalties is harder now than it ever has been. With all the statistics you have all these goalkeepers with the player statistics on their water bottles.
Yeah, that's been a while though. It's been a while.
I mean, I
I've
don't-
never taken like when you take a penalty, you're usually making the decision right then and there.
No. I've seen some interviews on what the thought process is for penalty takers. It used to be that you before the game even starts, you've been practicing your pens, you know where you're going to take it, you step up and you're going to take it. Nowadays, it's all about reading the goalkeeper's movement. I've seen a huge involvement in that. The stutter step has become almost unanimous with the primary penalty takers on every team. You really take it as slow as you can. You stutter on your way there, and then you slowly go into your shot as the goalkeeper moves.
Yeah,
It's interesting because
you're right.
actually you could see that in Ronaldo's pen, who let's just be unanimous about it. He's a great penalty taker.
Yeah, except in the Euros,
So be it. And in the Euros,
And he did score 2. You saw the interview he just had where he said he scored 2 goals in the Euros. He was talking about penalty shootout goals. I thought that was hilarious. Continue.
no, he scored a regular goal.
No, he did not. He scored 0 goals in the Euros.
Yeah, in the Euros he didn't score at all.
He said people forget that I scored 2 goals. Yeah, he's talking about penalty shootouts, which is hilarious. He missed
I got my mouse here.
his penalty.
Well, I mean, you'd love to see an interview like that out of another certain great player, but he can't speak English. So, and anyway,
He's too busy winning World Cups.
yeah, that's exactly what he's busy doing.
Yeah.
In
And
Inter
Copa
Miami.
Americas and
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's no.
getting ready for the next
that
World
one
Cup.
he didn't win. He was crying on that one, but so did Ronaldo.
Just saying, only one other team has won the national competition, the World Cup, and back to the national competition.
Spain.
Spain.
Okay,
And-
you were saying
and
something.
that's one of the
Sorry,
best teams
before
of
I-
all time.
Ronaldo developed a stutter step in his pen recently. Used to be just step up, absolute plant the left foot, and the ball would levitate and he'd strike the ball. And it seemed to me as a viewer that he knew where he was going before. And even if the goalie dove the right way, which oftentimes goalie would dive because he would often go to the same side, unstoppable shot. But now he's developed a stutter step, like you mentioned, and maybe that's part of the new psychology.
Yeah,
and
I
that's if you see how Ivan Toney takes the penalty, he doesn't even look at the ball. He's staring at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that is crazy. Though.
Walks
that
up
is
slowly
crazy.
and
That is
just waits for him to
crazy.
move, and then kicks it.
Yeah,
the
no,
other way.
that's a crazy tactic, and it's
how
it's a skill in
it's how
itself.
Balotelli took penalties. He would stare at the goalkeeper and just boom, and then
Balotelli had a style of doing a heavy plant foot
yeah.
and then wait a couple seconds. Like he'd wait.
Well, there you go. That's the same. The
Yeah, it's
hesitation.
similar.
Lewandowski takes his penalties like that. Obviously, Eden Hazard took his penalties like that. All great penalty takers have that.
Yeah,
stutter.
I agree.
Bruno
Speaking of
pioneering the little jump step as well. You know.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask if Ivan Toney. This is the reason why I mentioned it before. If Ivan Toney would have been signed to Arsenal, which Arsenal was looking like
I
they
would
were
have
gonna
taken
sign.
him.
Oh yeah. I mean, let me finish.
Okay.
I would have taken him because I know you would have. If Ivan Toney would have been signed to Arsenal for whatever fee it was, okay, and with such fee, maybe looking like 80 million, and he'd have scored in every game since he started, would that be a good value for money, according to you?
Well, first of all, Brentford were only looking for 40, and there's a reason probably why Arsenal didn't go in for him, and neither did any big six club.
Well,
in the
no,
Premier
there
League.
was, like you said,
No,
there
this
was-
season he left for 40 million from
Well, because there was obviously a reason why they wanted him out of the club.
well, Arsenal
And-
could have bought him right now for 40 million, and they didn't. Why? I think they know why. I think they know that he's not the youngest player, and he's not the most consistent player either.
Well, I also think Arsenal doesn't think they have. I think Arsenal, like the management, don't think that they have a striker problem.
Well, they don't.
Well, they do.
Well, no, do they?
They don't have
scored
a real nine.
They scored like the most goals last year.
They don't have a real nine.
Do you need a real 9 when all your top players are getting 12 goals this season? No, you don't need it. It's a different way of playing, It's not pass it to Haaland and wait. It's Trossard will score 10, Martinelli would maybe score 8, 10, Saka will score 15 to 20, Havertz will score 12 to 30.
Maybe it's a lack of direct structure and it's more of a chance game. But anyway,
I mean, you guys.
I was just curious
I
to
just
know-
checked. You guys did score the second most goals
Second
after
most.
City
Yeah.
with
I mean,
91, whereas
scored,
City scored 96.
by the way, that's the record for Arsenal. They've never scored more goals than that. And without a recognized striker. If if Havertz can score 30 goals this season.
bro,
We don't
Hazard
need a
is
striker.
Hazard is not scoring.
Anyway, let's go on to
No. I'm not going to anyway that Hazard is not scoring 30 goals.
we already spoke about
He's
this.
not even going to score 15.
I made a prediction that Havertz could maybe get the golden boot.
How's that looking
my
now?
God.
It's not looking great, but you know what other prediction I made? I made a prediction, and not only a prediction, a statement that there's a certain player we're moving into La Liga right now,
Okay.
who plays in Barcelona, who I said could be the second best player in the world right now. And if we're looking at the season he's having, 3 games played, 1 goal, 4 assists. Last season he finished La Liga with 5 assists. He's already got 4 in 3 games. He is playing out of his mind right now. I don't know if you saw the assist he made, the beautiful
Yeah.
pass. Man. The guy, everything he does looks so beautiful, elegant. I think he's the most talented player we've seen since Lionel Messi. I think he's unbelievable. And at the end of the season, I do think if Barcelona continue the way they're doing, the Champions League and La Liga, that he could be a shout for the best player in the world. And this is, yes, speculation, but I do think that my prediction about him being the second best player in the world is looking better and better each day. Barcelona 7-0, great. Yeah, when's the last time they did that to a team? It's been a while. Lewandowski scoring, Rafinha scoring a hat trick. He's looking one of the best players in the world. The guy's having a great season. Coach Hansi Flick looking like a big difference maker. What do you guys think of Barcelona right now?
Definitely. I mean, La Liga's
Rafinha looking
favorite.
like one of the best players in the world right now. Is one of the craziest, like us, next to one of the craziest.
He's,
teams in
he's
the-
doing amazing.
No, okay, no. Did you see the meme of Barcelona where it was the coach, like scoring 6 goals, and then the coach is just like straight face, but Yamin Yamal scores and he's celebrating this because he didn't celebrate until he scored.
Lemar didn't score. So I don't know what meme you saw, what propaganda you're watching against Barcelona, but Yamal
No,
scored 2
it's
assists.
the point that when he does score, he over celebrates, like he celebrates a lot.
Well, yeah, you know, you celebrate when your team scores. I don't know what meme you saw.
Never mind.
But maybe
You
I
don't
have
get
to
it.
see it a little bit
viewers,
on the screen.
The viewers would have seen it
Okay, well,
because they're true fans.
anyway, what do you think about that though? Barcelona.
Did you watch that game?
I watched the game.
No, you didn't.
I watched the highlights.
I know you didn't
I
watch
watched the
the game.
highlights because I'm not.
But
gonna
why do you lie?
Because I didn't lie.
You did lie.
I was joking. No, let me say this, okay? I am not. I will watch Barcelona play when I
No,
have time. I
highlights
was
is
not.
not the
I was
same.
not available. I did see the highlights, and it's expected that they would win that game. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and watch Barcelona absolutely destroy a team that I
Who
know
did they
that
play
they're gonna-
against?
It's a very. Is it a newly promoted team? I think.
But they've been in the league many times over.
Who is it that they play?
It's Real Valladolid.
Say it again.
Real Valladolid.
Say it one more time.
I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it, but you
Really?
didn't even know the name.
Okay, but I don't.
The point is,
not,
it's a
not,
who? It's a who team? Who?
It's not the
Who
best.
did they play against?
It's not the
So
best.
who cares?
It's not the best.
So who
It's
cares?
if we look at they won 7-0. You want to know who cares? Real Madrid does.
You know what?
Already
You wanna know
points
something?
behind, games behind.
You want to know something?
Barcelona.
This is what I want to say.
Yes.
Speaking of Real Madrid, though, Mbappe scored his first 2 goals in the league. But I will say,
About time.
Stutter step penalty.
stutter step pen.
Yeah.
But I want to say, but I think that is his technique anyway, stutter step. Anyway,
Anyway.
I'll start to pay more attention to Mr. Yamal
Yeah.
when he scores a hat trick against Real Madrid. When he does that,
Okay, well,
I'll
we'll
compare
s-
him to other players that, you know, based off of what they've done, it's comparable.
I don't
right
think,
now,
does Cristiano Ronaldo ever score a hat trick against Barcelona?
scoring a brace in much more important versions of those games is
Okay,
also
so
good.
let's let him score a brace at least.
No.
okay?
We'll do a hat trick. We're comparing him to Messi, so let's compare him to Messi with a hat trick.
I don't think he needs to score a hat trick to be
But
compared
why
to
not?
Messi because I think if he plays very well, like he's doing this season, if he ends the season with 15
What if
assists,
he gets no goals?
20
What if he
assists,
gets no goals or assists against Real Madrid this season?
well, we'll see when he gets there because
He
I
gets
think
a
that
lot of points against Real.
I
Madrid.
think finally, guys, I've been waiting for this since Messi and Ronaldo left. Finally, I'm excited for El Clasico again. You got that one team with a super team, Real Madrid with Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinny. What a team that looks on paper. Then you got Barcelona with the upcoming stars like Mbappe, Yamal. We got a new competition now, boys. It's gonna be.
Mbappe, Yamal.
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
What do you mean?
That is not comparable. Mbappe is
I do-
clear of Yamal.
I do think he is. I think Mbappe is the number 1 player in the world right now. I do,
Clear.
and I think Yamal. Is
And then
close.
it's Erling Haaland, and then it's other players, and then it's other players, and then it's like Yamal when we get to the players that like.
Well, let's get to the.
But player for player, Yamal and Haaland, I feel like even you would agree Yamal is a better footballer than Haaland. Haaland may be a better goal scorer,
I don't like these terms that people like to throw away.
because it doesn't fit your.
No, because it fits your agenda. It fits the agenda of what they use to compare Messi and Ronaldo. It's an agenda that it fits your agenda.
overall footballer, I think is a fair.
That's all
argument
relative.
to
It's
have.
all subjective anyway.
No, it's not. Who's
It
a better
is.
dribbler?
It's subjective.
Answer the question. Who's a better dribbler?
It's subjective to
It's not
say who's a
subjective.
better footballer.
No, it's you can see it.
Do you know Balotelli to be a great dribbler?
I
I know you don't know anything about him, but if you know what you do know about him, do you think he's a great dribbler?
He's
Yeah,
not a
he's
terrible
decent.
dribbler. Yeah, he's
He's
a
decent.
decent dribbler.
The guy used to get 5-star skills in FIFA. He's an amazing dribbler. You guys don't even know. That's
I
the
think
point.
Anthony had 5-star skills.
Yeah,
in
Anthony
FIFA.
has
Yeah,
five-star
Anthony
skills.
does good skills, like does crazy skills in
but
games. I said
skills-
it in the game.
Skills and
he has-
dribbles aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
That's not the point. Balotelli's a great dribbler,
But you
and
can
he's.
see who's a better dribbler. If I go to the park right now,
But that's all
If I-
relative.
no, it's not
That's
relative.
all relative.
It's
Yeah,
not.
because it's
I
whether-
could see how somebody dribbles. I could see. With
I
my
know,
eyes.
but if it's not part of their game, it's not. Haaland doesn't need to dribble.
no, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying
As
I'm not saying he's a better dribbler than Lamine Yamal, but he doesn't need to dribble.
Haaland is probably more important to his team right now than Yamal. Even
He's
that
way
is-
more important to his team than
It's hard
Yamal.
to say. I think Yamal is the best player on Barcelona already.
I'm telling you right now, if Lamine Yamal was in the same exact position as Erling Haaland, if they switch roles, well, I don't know if actually, I'll stand by it. If they switch roles, Haaland continues to get points for his team. Lamine Yamal will not get. I'm talking to you, even in the same position, they switch roles. They switch roles, same positions. Like they.
Well, Yamal's not a striker, so that doesn't
Oh,
make
so
sense.
the-
And Haaland doesn't. he's not a right
So
winger.
exactly, so you're comparing the wrong two positions. Mbappe is a winger,
Well, because I'm comparing players of what I see with my eyes. I think Yamal is just a
but
better player.
what you see with your eyes is always going to be subjective. That's my point.
Okay,
Okay,
maybe.
well, you can look at stats like dribbles per 90 if you want.
I know, but if nines don't dribble as much as wingers do,
Yeah, you're right, but I'm just talking about
Okay,
a
well
pure
you can
footballer.
take percentage of successful
So
dribbles. Then.
that's why I wouldn't put a goalkeeper to win the Ballon d'Or because he might be a really really good goalkeeper, but he's not a player. He's not a.
That's why there's literally like no goalies with Ballon d'Or. There's like two.
There's one.
Just
No,
Yashin.
I think
Yes,
Dino.
Yashin.
I think
Just
Dino Zoff also has a Ballon d'Or.
No, it's just
It's
Yashin.
just
Do you know who Dino Zoff is?
No, and there's a
Exactly.
reason because he doesn't have a Ballon d'Or. Yashin has a Ballon d'Or, and he's the only one ever because a goalkeeper is just not as impressive as a forward or midfielder.
Could have been colluded. It's USSR type of vibes.
I don't know, maybe.
But anyway,
I don't know much about that.
you can't do amount of percentage because if a striker only dribbles the ball past players 3 times and only gets 1,
That's,
then he has a 33%.
yeah, exactly.
But if Lamine Yamal does 15 dribbles and gets 10 of them,
yeah, well, that's a higher
It's
percentage.
the highest percentage.
I know, but you're
That-
comparing
that-
15 opportunities to 3 opportunities.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that's why the percentage comes in because it doesn't matter how many opportunities; it's how many you get right.
Well, no, but you have a higher chance of getting a bigger percentage with more opportunities.
No, not if you're a shit
do you
dribbler.
mean,
You're gonna
no?
fail all of
No,
them.
if Yamal only has 3 opportunities, he'll probably get 3 out of 3.
No, that's
Yes,
That's
that's how it
If
works.
anything, if you do more, you're probably gonna reduce the quality
Yeah.
of them.
this is crazy.
it's math.
That's how
No.
percentages
That's how
work.
it works.
Percentages are don't care about how many.
I know,
times.
but if a player doesn't do dribbles, if in their game they don't do dribbles, that doesn't
Yeah.
mean they're incapable of dribbling.
okay, well then you look at when they do dribble and how successful they are when they do
But
it.
if a player doesn't do dribbling like Erling Haaland,
Mhm.
you're only going to be looking at
Are
basically.
we really gonna sit here and say Haaland is a good dribbler?
No, but
He's
you can't.
not.
But it's not fair to say he's a bad one. because
Okay,
he
I'm not
doesn't
saying he's a bad
showcase it.
one, but he's not as good as Yamal.
I mean, is he even? I don't even know if you. I mean, what's Haaland's form of
you-
dribbling?
I'll-
He'll shoulder a guy, kick it around
Conversation
him.
conversation aside, he probably doesn't have very good dribbling
No, he doesn't.
skills, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to do it. That's the whole point. He just doesn't do it on purpose. Like obviously players play to
he
their
doesn't.
skills.
He's not a dribbler. That's it. And I feel I put dribbling as a very important thing when I'm looking at how good
I think
a
you
player
put it
is.
a little bit too important because it's a very
That's just
minute part of the game.
No, it's football. Dribbling is a big part of it. We'll talk about Real Madrid for a second. 2-0 Mbappe. You know, this is a team you follow closely. Real Madrid.
I've never said this on the show.
Okay, but you prefer Real Madrid. You like Real Madrid as a club.
Over Barcelona.
Oh, in general, you like them
Over Barcelona.
over Barcelona.
This is a statement.
Okay. Yes. Do you?
I've made this statement.
Yes. Okay. So, how did you find the game? Did you Mbappe? Are you impressed? What do you think?
But
about
I'm
him?
not. You're asking me like as if I'm a Real Madrid fan guy.
Well, I don't care. I'm asking your opinion. Do you? How do you think Real Madrid did? Do you think? Are you impressed? 2-0?
I'm happy for him that he scored goals. I hope that he continues to score goals because he deserves it. Real Madrid deserve him to score goals for the amount of money they've paid. He deserves to score goals because he's a great player, and you don't want a player like that to, make the media end his career early because of underperformances. And Madrid is one of the harshest. Madrid and Spain are some of the harshest critics of all time. I'd say so. Like Marca, the news outlet that often covers Madrid.
Honestly, I didn't watch the full game, but I did have the Real Madrid game playing in the back. I wasn't too impressed with how they were playing. It seemed like I didn't see too much of a structure in their game. Obviously, their one goal came out of a moment of absolute brilliance of this back heel was Valverde, right? I thought that was amazing. Obviously, a great goal, and then you have the penalty, which while it was a penalty, at the end of the day, you don't see that being something they can replicate going forward as a
They should be beating those teams.
they should be winning by more. And they did have Mbappe did have a couple other chances, not amazing shots on goal, but I still feel like this team has a lot to improve on.
Yeah, but there's a problem here with Real Madrid because Mbappe, he has said it multiple times, and we saw at PSG, he does not prefer playing down the middle. He prefers playing on the left.
That's
And
true.
what we saw with him in PSG, he would play down the middle, and he would have a bad game or whatever, and then they would switch him to the left. He can't necessarily do that right now because Vinny plays on the left. What do you do? Is this a problem? Do you need to get rid of Vinny?
Well, I think they're playing Vinny more in the 9 now.
No, he's playing on the left. Mbappe
What ends
is
up
the
happening
striker.
is that they end up overlapping on the left, where they're both kind of on the left, and Rodrigo pushes more centrally, and then they kind of just pull up, like overlap that wing area.
They have to figure something out because Mbappe, the way he likes to play is always down the left, and you have probably the 2 best left wingers in the world playing on the same team.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to figure something out. I'm sure it's gonna take time. They don't even have Jude. Okay, once they get Jude back, I feel that team is gonna start to click a bit more. Jude is a big difference maker. But can they Can you play Jude, Rodrigo, Vinny, and Mbappe up front? I think you can.
Well, I mean, I think
but it's going to take time
think
for them
Jude
to
is
gel.
an attacking midfielder. He's not a
Jude,
striker.
Jude, you
I know,
drop
but
further back.
I
for
think
sure.
it's going to take time for them to gel and create a sort of attack, because we saw with Ronaldo, Bale, and Benzema, that big three, they were passing it. They all played. Ronaldo played on the left, Benzema played on the right, the striker, and Bale played on the right.
But the difference between that is those are players that play their positions, whereas now we're having the
Yeah, that's
confidence
the
positions.
problem, and the problem is there. I feel like Bale and Benzema were okay with Ronaldo being the front man, but Vinny, will he be okay with Mbappe being the star of the team?
I don't think so.
I don't know if he
Especially-
will. I think Vinny is arguably going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. So is my Jude. It's going to be tough for that team to work.
I actually believe that Vinny, the character that he possesses, I think, based off the way I interpret him as a player, I think he's okay with being
the number 2,
the number 2.
but he's arguably number 1 right now. Does he want to?
Yeah, that's okay, sure, but
Like it's Vinny and Jude's team right now, and that
Yeah.
Mbappe's walking.
I mean,
into.
Vinny must know that popularity-wise, over the past few years, Mbappe's higher than him in terms of popularity. So at that moment,
But has it changed? Is Vinny now?
popularity has not changed.
No, but is Vinny now? If he wins the Ballon d'Or, is he now that step higher? Does he want to? Does he want to give up those goals? Does he want to pass to Mbappe? Give Mbappe all
At the end of the day, regardless of what their mentality is, they're gonna have to show who the leader of that team is by scoring more goals. And I mean, I did kind of say, I mean, Mbappe took the penalty, right?
But Vinny took it. Vinny has taken one before.
Right.
Are they going to share it? How is that going to work?
I wonder
mean,
if Jude's going to start taking pens.
I
when
mean,
he's
I
in.
think Mbappe's a far better
Could be,
player than Vinny when I see them play. I just think Mbappe's this. I don't know. I've never really liked Vinny that much. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it.
He's good.
Vinny's really
You
good.
see them.
He's strong. He's fast. He can
Yeah, no,
dribble.
he's good.
He's a
I'm
good
just-
finisher.
Here's what turns me off about Vinny. I saw Vinny play for Brazil last year. This is a year ago at this point. And Neymar was so much better than Vinny was last year.
What do you mean? Neymar hasn't played football in like
No,
a
I know.
year and a
He-
half, 2 years.
No, he played a game or two. Like there was a Brazil game I saw. It was
in real life or on?
Yeah,
This
no,
must
real
have been
life.
a long time ago.
it was maybe a year ago.
No, it had to be more. Anyway, if you
that
saw
Neymar
Neymar
not been-
playing for Brazil, it was a while ago. It was a while
It
ago.
was a while ago. Neymar's been injured for.
Yeah.
the
I know he's
past,
been injured for a while, but there was a game where Neymar was back.
Okay,
and he
so
played.
this might be a long time ago. That's why Vinny
Because
right
Vinny,
now.
when Vinny first joined Madrid, he had a bit more of a harder
Yeah.
start.
The way player he is today, it wasn't
Yeah,
2
it's
years
a totally
ago.
different player than he was.
He has changed a lot.
Even not last year, but like the year before last year, totally different player.
He's not the same. I don't think it's fair to compare Vinny. Right now, Vinny and Neymar, I don't think it's a comparison. Vinny is by far the better player. I'd rather start right now.
Currently, you're
Currently,
saying,
yeah,
like right now.
Right now. But overall, of course, I'll go Neymar. But you're not giving Vinny the credit I think he deserves. You gave Rodrigo a lot of credit. I
Well,
feel like there's no competition between him and Vinny.
No, I agree. Vinny is definitely better. I mean, the competition for what I'm comparing Rodrigo for in that was a 23 and under. Vinny, I'm comparing to every player on the planet.
But you were saying you watched Neymar and Vinny play in
Yeah,
in real life?
and Neymar was just miles ahead. He was so much better. He was a bigger threat, better dribbler, better finisher.
I do think all these things are true. A fit Neymar
well, the
is
thing
better.
is, and sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but the thing is the difference between watching a game in real life than when you watch it on TV is that you get to see what the players are doing off the ball.
Yeah, Neymar.
When
was
they're off the
playing
ball,
for-
they're not on camera.
By the
for
way,
example.
Neymar was playing for Brazil in October of 2023, so less than a year ago.
So it was probably a Copa America.
Yeah, it might have been a
it's
World Cup
probably
qualifier game. I don't know. It was around the time, I don't know, Chile was playing a few games. I decided to tune in to watch Brazil. Oh my God, Neymar still had it. He was still the player.
The
Yeah,
fit
Neymar
Neymar
is,
is a different level.
It's just crazy to me that a fit Neymar who's like 32 is still running laps
32
around.
is not crazy old. He's just technically the third best player of our generation. Of course, I don't. Vinny's not close.
Like,
Vinny's behind Mbappe, but Vinny right now
No, but
is a great player.
I tuned into that game thinking, okay, Vinny, he's coming off a Champions League. He's gonna be the player on the pitch for Brazil. They're gonna pass to him. Nope. Still went through Neymar.
But Brazil never.
Oof.
They've and to my knowledge, they've never really played that. They don't play that style of we're just gonna pass to this one player.
Well, I know, but I just assumed Vinny would make a bigger impact for that Brazil team, and I haven't seen it.
Fair.
I have
That's
not
fair.
seen that impact. Whereas Neymar playing for that Brazil team, that team changes. A Brazil with Neymar is so much better than a Brazil with Vinny.
Yeah,
Not even close.
okay, but right now I think you would maybe change that. Neymar hasn't played football in a while.
Okay.
Let's see when he comes back how
We'll see.
where he fares, if he's going to play in the World Cup or if not. Anyway, Real Madrid. I think we've spoken enough about them. You guys want to move on to the Bundesliga? Something has changed.
Never losing. No
Never
more.
losing one time.
Losing.
In
Never
a very
losing.
Leverkusen kind of way as
Bayer
well.
Leverkusen.
They went up
Last
1-0,
minute, yeah.
1-1, 2-1, 2-2, and then in what 90th, 80th minute, 88th minute is a late goal. I don't
Late
remember
goal,
the
yeah,
exact
yeah.
minute, but
It's tough, but
yeah,
I mean, you can't go unbeaten forever. No one does, right? So
I think
they
it was-
had to lose at
there's
some
like
point.
38 games in the Bundesliga now that
Yeah.
they hadn't lost.
no, but it was the 35 game unbeaten streak, I think.
Oh, it was 35. Okay, 35.
But I mean, look, good for them. I think we've been pleasantly gifted this surprise as a football fan. I never saw Leverkusen doing this. I never saw Xabi Alonso managing Leverkusen to do this. So I think this is, it's a good piece of history. It's cool.
It's cool.
It's interesting. It's too bad that they lost. Hopefully they get back on their horse. And
But they may have lost, but do you not think they have a chance right now still to compete for that Bundesliga
Oh,
title?
100%,
For the
100%.
I
second
think the
time in a row?
Bundesliga title is up for grabs for any competitive team in that league right now. Bayern's not the same Bayern they were 5 years ago.
Man, I feel bad for Harry Kane
I don't feel bad for Harry Kane. Why do you feel bad for Harry Kane?
because I think he is.
That's because you got the British brainwashing. on you.
No, because I think he is. I don't think Harry Kane.
I mean, he was the best goal scorer in the world last year, and he can't win a trophy.
Yeah, Harry
When he was in
Kane.
the German league.
Yeah, but even in the Premier League, he was up there. He's a very good striker. He might be the best player. He might be
The best player
the
to not
best
win a
player
trophy.
of all time to not win a trophy. I'm not saying like imagine not
No,
winning
there's got to
one.
be a different. there's
But
gotta
not
be.
one trophy, not a league cup, not a Champions League, not a trophy for your
I'm sure
country.
there's players. I'm sure
Do you
there's players.
think so?
Totti's barely won any?
But he's won a Serie A. He's won the Serie A Cup. He's won things for Italy. Imagine not winning
Okay.
a single trophy in your entire career
Being
and
the
being
Premier
one,
League
being
second
the-
top scorer.
It's going to be ridiculous at that. But I'm going to say this: this is the year that ends. I feel
think
that
so.
Bayern Munich this year are going to win the Bundesliga. They're
Okay.
going to win
It's
the.
sad. I mean, you saw that picture of Kane this week. You took a picture. He had the European Golden Shoe. He had the Bundesliga top scorer. He had the Euro top scorer trophy, and
individual
and
awards, he
Bundesliga
wins
top
plenty.
scorer.
Yeah,
he was
but
a top scorer among all leagues last year, in the
He
Euros as well.
he needs to win something this year. He needs to. I really
I
am
feel bad.
going.
I
He
feel
is a
bad.
Tottenham Spurs player. I'm happy he didn't win anything for the Spurs, but now that he's gone, I hope he comes and he wins something because I do like Harry Kane as a player. I always did. He's a terrific striker, great passer. He's fun to watch. Some of these big strikers like Lewandowski, I don't find him fun to watch the same way I find Harry Kane to watch. I feel like he deserves at least a couple big trophies. And this is the year I think he does it. Bayern Leverkusen, they're going to be competing. They're going to be strong. But Bayern Munich right now, I think Olise, how good is this guy? He's great. He's a great player, great signing. Paulinho, the Portuguese from Fulham, fits right into that team. I feel like it's a strong Bayern Munich right now.
I honestly, even though Leverkusen lost, if you watch how they lost and how it went to the final whistle, those players were giving it their all. That as soon as they blew the whistle, every player on the Leverkusen pitch collapsed in fatigue. They were just
Well, yeah, and they're also disappointed that their streak has ended.
yeah, but you're right. That's part of it. But
Well,
you could tell they really wanted it.
I think that is probably the best takeaway I could take from this whole Leverkusen Alonso situation. Whereas I like to watch clubs like that, who the players within those clubs, they're all fighting for that one goal. Everybody's on the same page. It's not about who's number one. It's not about who's number two. I like that. I enjoy seeing that kind of environment. And Leverkusen has definitely created that. They're definitely the team of that team. Yeah. Leicester might have been that team back in 2015.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah,
2016.
they got it. They still have a very strong team. They didn't lose anybody. Wirtz is still scoring goals, and Xabi Alonso, he might be on his way to Real Madrid after this season.
Yeah.
I think they're in good shape this season still, but I'm gonna say Bayern to win it. After
I mean, that's a safe bet for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll be rooting for Leverkusen every step of the way.
no Dortmund in the conversation.
No,
They didn't
no,
even-
no.
Dortmund were.
You know, Dortmund were far from being.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah,
Well, the league just started, even especially for them. They started a bit later, right?
yeah, but I don't see them competing with Bayern and Leverkusen, and also Leverkusen in the Champions League this season, right? Let's see how far they can go. We'll talk about that when we do our Champions League preview. But I think that's all, boys. I think we spoken about a lot that happened last week. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our TikTok shorts and reels. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune in for our next video. We're gonna be doing icon or hero. Like and subscribe.
Very good.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
everyone.
watching.
Thank
Take
you
care, guys.
Take care.
for watching.